One of the specific things that we started to notice that was quite worrying was just the amount of borrowing that was going on in order for people to buy stocks. So we were watching data such as the amount of margin financing for trading stocks. But one specific trigger point where we realized, okay, this is when it's going to start going south, was we picked up on we picked up on the fact that there were a lot of company insiders who were starting to sell their stocks in the companies. That's always a sign that they know something that the rest of the public doesn't know. And so we actually were the first really to point out that this trend was happening, and that was a real marker for the fact that this was getting into really dangerous territory, and it proved to be right. So first, I would say just the speed with which the story progressed. I mean, at the height of the panic and of the fall, this really steep falls that happened in June of last year, we were getting announcements from the government, essentially emergency measures come out every day and multiple times a day even, and the landscape was shifting so quickly underneath us. So the challenge there is to actually keep up with an extremely rapidly changing regulatory environment, and to make sense of what is actually happening. You know, how do you do that? Well, you tap your expertise, your own expertise. You try to talk to people that you know can help interpret these things, and I think we did a good job of making sense in a very rapidly changing environment just what was going on. So one exclusive we came out with was about the fact that the government was considering changing the entire regulatory environment, or the entire regulatory setup for overseeing the markets and the financial system. Now, that's a plan that will take a long time to see fruition. They haven't announced it just yet, but at the very least, even flagging at that time of when this was happening, the thinking of the government and what they were planning and thinking of, and the type of things they were considering doing, really shed a lot of light on where things might be headed. The economy overall does still face significant challenges, but we realize there's also a possibility that this is not going to be that kind of story, but more a story of the economy its vitality being slowly sucked away by this overhang of debt, which would frankly be in a lot of ways equally destructive in the long run, but it's not quite the kind of big bang sort of very, very dramatic story that we had with the stock market crash last year. And in a lot of ways, telling that kind of story is actually a lot more challenging.